Two police officers in Chicago have been officially reprimanded after a photo featuring them went viral online. Now, in the photo, they are shown kneeling in solidarity with NFL players who also kneeled during the national anthem. And this whole story came about when an activist approached them and asked if they supported people like Colin Kaepernick. So the officers were approached by an activist named Arleta Clark, who asked the two officers whether they were opposed to police brutality and racism. They responded in the affirmative, knelt down in solidarity with Clark, Kaepernick, and the broader message. So that was what you saw in that photo. It was posted on Instagram, went viral, and for the most part got a lot of support. But after enough people saw it, of course, there are going to be some who are opposed to it. And the police department was notified of the image, and they released a statement indicating that these police officers would be reprimanded. Now, I also want to be clear that the department does have a pretty strict policy when it comes to partisan political speech while on duty. They are obviously in uniform and they made a political statement, and so that's the reason that the department is giving for reprimanding them. Department members are prohibited from participating in any partisan political campaign or activity while on duty, including but not limited to distributing campaign literature or wearing or displaying political paraphernalia. The official statement from the department is as follows: we are aware of the photo and we will address it in the same way we have handled previous incidents in which officers have made political statements while in uniform, with a reprimand and a reminder of department policies.
Okay, so I'm a little split on this. I mean, I get it, they have a policy.
Yeah.
Now, and at the end of the day, it's a reprimand and a reminder of department policies.
Yeah,
they'll live. They'll
I know.
be okay.
Some people are mistaking that as these officers getting fired. They're not getting fired. Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the other hand, they're not really doing political paraphernalia. It's not like they're saying vote for Bob or Susie or Republican or Democrat. It easily could have been interpreted as not a political statement. And then think about what the statement is. It's against police brutality and their police. I hope that all the cops agree that they're against police brutality. So if that's against your guidelines to be in favor of, to be against police brutality, then I'm a little worried about your guidelines. It's super easy to say that's not a political statement. Of course, we're all against police brutality.
Yes, look, I hate zero tolerance policies. I think that, once you put out a zero tolerance policy in regard to political speech, and you're talking about public officials putting forth a policy that squashes political speech. I mean, I don't know if you can have a debate about whether or not this is protected by the First Amendment. I get the idea, though, that, hey, we need to have a policy in place because we might have some police officers who say things that lead to the community further distrusting them, right? Yeah. And so we've had a number of stories where police have said things that were horrible toward the black community or those who have been protesting, and that understandably leads to the community not trusting them. However, like in this case, I feel like this is something that should be protected, right? It seems like the only time cops get reprimanded or face a punishment is when they criticize other cops or call out other cops. And I think right now, more than ever, we need the good cops to come forward and be like, you know what? No, we're not gonna stand for this. All of these, murders against people who are unarmed, we're not gonna stand for this. We gotta change the policing, we gotta change the training. That's what we've been asking for. And now finally we have these two cops who made a mild statement by kneeling in a photo, and they get reprimanded.
So, look, I totally agree with the policy overall. I don't want a cop showing up in a MAGA hat, right? I also don't want a cop showing up with a "I'm with her" sticker, okay? Or even a Bernie So Punk t-shirt, which you could get at shoptyt.com. But because what if some people are made uncomfortable? They weren't with her, or it's a very wealthy person's house and they wrongly are made uncomfortable by Bernie Sanders and they're not sure the cop is on their side. We can't have it. I totally agree that you should leave politics out of it. But Kaepernick taking a knee and doing, raising their fist, and all the players now doing it, and even some of the NFL owners doing it, are not saying we're against cops. They're not saying we're against any race certainly, right? They're saying we want to make sure that everybody's treated equally, and that we don't have police brutality. Especially if you're the police, you got to agree with that message.
Right.
And so, and the last thing is that a lot of people have a wrong impression of cops. They think, for example, we're against cops. That's crazy. We talked about it a million times. We want better training for cops because there are cops, and we want them to protect the community, all of the community, and we want them trained better to do that so they don't shoot as quickly, et cetera, right? And then some on the right think, oh, the cops don't like you guys. I'm sure that's true for some of the cops, but that's actually not at all true for a lot of the cops. I know from my personal life, I mean, cops are shouting out at me all the time, but not in that way. No, so, and they'll be like, hey, Young Turks, hey, I watched your show, hey, keep going. In DC, in New York, in LA, in DC when I got arrested for civil disobedience to get money out of politics, as I was going to do the paperwork, one of the cops was like, Young Turks, keep it going. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want him going to somebody else's house and saying that because that would be political, right? But so not all cops are alike. That's ridiculous way of thinking on either side, right? It's great. I love to see them doing this, saying we're against police brutality. I wish the department was a little bit more understanding of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one comment in regard to cops liking us or not liking us. It's not our job to care about cops liking us, right? It's our job to do the best we can with these stories and be honest with you guys and give you the facts. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for the cops that watch the show, see some of the criticisms that we've had in regard to police training, and they've been receptive to it and understanding. So much love to them.
Help us build independent media together. Come join us, tytnetwork.com/join.